Aloha, I'm Tammy Moniz with Faith Surf School Hawaii in front of the Outrigger Waikiki Beach Resort. This is Surfers in Residence, where I get the honor and privilege to interview intimately the best surfers in all the world. Hi, my name is Tammy Moniz with Faith Surf School and Moniz Family Surf, and I'm your host today for Surfers in Residence with the Outrigger Waikiki Beach Resort. And today I have two special guests of mine. One, my husband Tony Moniz, and the other, our beloved longtime friend Michael Ho. And I could not wait for this moment. And these two have grown up together on the shores of Waikiki. They have surfed together professionally. We've had our children together, and here they are together. And both of them have so many stories, and anytime Michael's in our presence, it's always fun and joyful. So we're gonna let you in right here to the special pocket, and I hope you enjoy this moment.
Okay, we can tell you stories. There's so many good memories with myself, Derek, and Michael, and some other friends traveling around the world. But a lot of it started right here in the back of us. This was our yard that we started play with. Michael has a lot of history here with generations, you know, starting from Uncle Duke to his pops to the whole clan. A lot of good memories with you competing right at Queens.
Yeah, I remember competing with Tony right here at Queens when we were really young, and he just came out of the blues and started taking a lot of guys down. And yeah, we were competitors, we were sparring partners from day one. And like my dad brought me down here for the first time. He was one of the original Beach Boys, or one of them. I mean, there's probably a lot before too, just because it's always been surfing here since Duke. But yeah, I used to have a lot of good friends, the Downings, Keone and Kainoa Downing, George Downing's kids. They were ones that we always used to surf and compete against, Tony and I, and the Blears, Talio Blears, Laura Blears, Jimmy Blears, Clinton Blears. They were like my other family that took us in when I couldn't come. I always used to want to come over here and surf Queens, but I lived on the east side, so I asked my mom, my dad, if I could stay with this family or that family, any family I could that lived close to Queens. I was on it if I could. And yeah, this is where it all started for me, and it was pretty much, I like this spot. I'm still looking at it right now but this is pretty much was grounds for competing as a child.
I think growing up through the 60s, surfing through the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the etiquette of surfing, the unwritten rules of respect in the water, you would learn that from the uncles, from your peers as well, on what not to do and what you can do. And you had to earn your stripes, and it was kind of a natural way of just respect. You walk into someone's home, it's like going into someone's surf spot. And it doesn't matter if it's here at our own break, any home breaker on the island, or when you travel. And especially when you travel, for the young guys, I think the etiquette of surfing, with surfing getting so large, I see a lot of difference now with kids that might not know too much about the etiquette, but we've learned how to respect the lineup.
What is an example of one of those incidences when you learned?
Well, sometimes we learn the hard way, to tell you the truth. But yeah, everybody's going to learn one way or another. And the best way to go about it is the way Tony's talking about it. I mean, I'm sure there's a few places we went, or I know I have, and probably ruffled feathers and shouldn't have, but the vibe's not right. So if you're surfing and the vibe's not right, it turns out not good. So yeah, for sure, best way to do it is do it right. And especially if you're at a place that's super localized and You better be smart.
I think going into a spot, any new spot, I remember just going to Bows from Waikiki and getting in the lineup, and it was the level of surfing went up, and that was kind of the stepping stone from baby queens to Kaisers and Ala Moana Bow. And I would sit on the side for days and just watch and learn the lineup and identify who was who. And already there was, for me, it was a little bit fear in the sense of doing the wrong thing. So if I could advise any young surfer going into a place where they're not familiar with, go in slowly. Slower is faster, you're gonna gain the respect. Sooner than later, you're gonna have the uncles or the boys pretty much inviting you into the party and inviting you to the luau after. Or you could get sent home and not come to the luau. That
makes a lot of sense, yeah. That's how it started at Velziland. You have to start from the inside, and you move a little bit out. Then when you get a little older, you get to sit out there and rub elbows a little bit, maybe get one or two. But nowadays, they're not really thinking. I don't know, it's the generation, but they know.
Yeah.
So it's coming back.
Yeah.
And I still think that a lot of the surfers give everyone respect that they should. You get what you get. And
When you can think of, maybe your first contest or when you guys were kind of competing together, like, is there anything that you remember? Like, were you 12 or how old were you guys?
sounds about right, too.
Yeah, 10 to 12 years old.
Yeah.
I got away from it for a few years, just got into moto and did other sports, and I think in the boys division back then, in the 60s. I kind of remember.
Yeah, you got me. You got me. Yeah, you got me a couple times. Yeah. I was like, whoa, who's that guy? Got me. Yeah, well, don't forget Tony.
Hey, the youngest of the clan, I had to fight for what, I wanted. They always gave me the used board. Everybody else got new board, but not Tony. He's too small. Give him the used one.
Yeah. I even had another sparring partner. I just want to bring up his name, was Kenny Morrow. He was one of our my good buddies that I tried to hang out. He lived at Diamond Head, so he was another one that come on, go stay at your house so I can go surf Queens. And then just a lot of good times over here in the South Side. Pretty much like you were saying, I was here, and then I moved down to Bowls. That was like moving to the North Shore from Queens. That was like big, so that was a special time. And I was the same way, trying to elbow my way in, but we got to start from the inside. And
work your way up. So many good memories here with my brother Mike, and so many good memories. We can have stories for days.
In the 80s, you guys surfed together at the professional level, So tell us what that was like compared to that. I mean, you both traveled with your kids all over the world, and today's surfing professional, What's so different back then?
Everything about it was different. They score with a pencil or a pen. To travel to any part of the world, I had no idea where I'm going to stay. You just figured it out as you went, pretty much.
Yes, and I do remember we didn't have jet skis. That would have been nice. Might have got a few more results, or I would have got a few more results, but yeah, that was a good thing they got right now. What else?
You couldn't yell at the judges' stand. I do remember. That's different.
Yeah, well now, the good thing about it now is
I know you can't yell at the judges now, but before there was a little bit more. Yep, I remember. Yes. You guys both. I remember.
Yeah, we used to go in front of that stand every now and again, but they never had all the video of what they have now, which is really good on the video, the new stuff, because the whole world can see if a result was wrong or right. And before, you'd come home and they go, "What happened?" and you say something. And I actually said something one time about the judges. I said to one of my friends, to Dino Ching from right here where I learned growing up, the Ching family. And I said, oh, the judge is this, the judge is that. And he told me, don't blame the judges. And I went, wow, coming from a Hawaiian that I'm saying I'm over there, think he's going to pat me on the back. But the first thing he told me was, don't blame the judges. So, hey, sorry, judges. But
I blame the judges so many times, and I had reason to blame the judges.
I did
If you look now how they score, bro, 2 big moves, you're surfing, and you get 1.5. Now 2 big moves, you get 1.8, cuz 1.8. Before we had to go milk them to the beach and get 5 waves and milk them. And you get 1.8. No need to do the big turn out the back. That no matters how far you go. So it all changed. It's all good. We were the guinea pigs.
Keep on going on this, but
we were the guinea pigs of surfing, and I'm grateful. I got to travel the world. I made very little freaking money. Money was like that. Barely had anything, but I still followed my passion. And guess what? Today I'm over here teaching surfing in Waikiki. That's my PhD. My reward is right here.
very good. I'm psyched on that. This is the spot. You got the spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, can you guys tell us, like, you know, one memorable moment, like on tour, maybe together, or, you know?
So many good times, so many waves around the world that we've surfed, but any surf trip that we did, it was never guaranteed for good waves. So there were some bummer trips. You travel a long way and you get there and the waves not cooperating like you would hope there will be, especially for competition. I think a lot of the venue that we had back in the day was not the right places. They wanted to be in front of a hotel with the little wave, and we're from Hawaii, so we were known to surf bigger waves. So already, if you think about it with the judges, they go, oh, those guys don't surf these little waves. They only surf the big waves. Yeah, Tony Moniz, big wave rider, going out 2 foot, -2. -2 already because I only stand up on big waves. Little did they know, we grew up right here where Uncle Duke surfed, and onto Sand Island and all the South Shore where the little waves are. Well, I didn't grow up on the North Shore, but there was always a dream for me to be in the Duke Classic, and that to me, that was part of the Olympics for me. It was a personal goal that I had. I always wanted to get into the Duke Classic, and I've asked the question to several uncles, how do I get in? How do I get in? And everyone said, go surf big waves. Okay, so I knew I needed to get away from Queens and start surfing the North Shore. So I understood that.
So Queens, Waimea. You did pretty good.
But this guy went, Michael, you went on to win the Pipe Masters with a broken arm, and just pretty much the quiet assassin. He wasn't loud. You weren't loud. You were a doer in the waves, and you didn't let anyone distract you from your passion till today. I sit at the Billabong House on the 50-yard line over the last 10 years watching Michael and Derek take off on the biggest pipe has to offer and pulling into the barrel. And they're surfing for me the last 10 years at Pipe. I'll get an invitation. Oh, come on, Tone, go out, come out with us. I'm like, No, I'm enjoying myself watching you guys.
He's going to show up. We're showing up this year. I was like, it's funny as you say, I told the kids, my son and daughter, that when I'm 60, I'll stop surfing pipe. Then each year, one more. So I'm like, maybe I'll go to 65. Because I was maybe one more year. So yeah, I've been trying to do that one. But for me, it's just surfing any kind of waves, staying in the surfing shape, the paddling. It doesn't matter how the waves are big or small or good or bad. When you do get a bigger wave, kind of conditions later where the currents, you're pretty much ready for whatever's going to come. But if you don't do it a lot, like anything, you kind of second guess yourself. Then you might second guess a little late or a little earlier and stuff. So yeah, just going out there and spending most of your time surfing, you end up surfing any kind of conditions, but it doesn't really matter how big it is or how good it is.
Well, there's one time I would remember sitting on the beach watching you guys surf, pipe and backdoor, and videotaping, and just the rounds going on, the scraps going on to get the waves, and jockeying to get the waves. But now, like, I ask the kids, like my boys, I'm like, so when Uncle Michael, and they start, like, they want a wave, what goes on? He's like, bro, nobody better paddle, so it's like you have lived.
Well, those are my backups. I got your boys, your sons are my backups. Now, they can have all the crazy waves. I just want the medium ones that look pretty good. And if I'm in the spot, I'll go. If they're in the spot, I'll let them go. But if it's the right one, it's get a little antsy sometimes. But yeah,
I know which wave is out.
Yeah, because they go for, like, believe me, the kids, they go for waves that we never went for. So, and they make them. Yeah. So, I really believe that the surfing's just evolved and went through the roof. So, including year 2, year 3, year 4, they rip. Yeah. So, surfing's going far.
To me, it's really beautiful to have watched, like, in the beginning when I was 20, that's when I met Tony, and that's probably close to when I met you. And we went to France, and that was kind of my first little, surf trip, and you guys were there. And, it's beautiful for me to, like, watch both of you guys, kind of hammer it out in the beginning, to progress being in the net eddy, and all these invitationals. And then to watch you have your children, and for them to, come on tour or surf professionally. And to this day, that's like 40, 45 years later, really, that both are very highly respected and loved by the community, and passing on something very special to the boys, to my boys.
I remember just kind of, again, Mike, watching you on how you influenced Mason and Coco on surfing, and I remember Mason didn't have an early start, and it was beautiful for me, as and yourself as well. I saw that you never really pushed, and that was, like, super cool, because you got, every child's different, and it's easy to force a child and end there wanting to surf, not even career, but just to surf. And that was really important for me when I watched that, because I've never really pushed my kids here, come on, go surf, or let's go compete. It was more organic, and I watched that with you and Mason and Coco to come out just naturally, because you love the ocean, and we're just kind of introducing that.
Well, as far as pipeline went, my son was 16, 15, 16, in that age where pipelines, they start earlier. John started everybody earlier, but everybody starts earlier now at pipe. My son always used to ask me, how's pipe, Dad? And I go, not good. And I'd go shoot straight to pipe. How's pipe, Dad? Not good. I did that for 2 years, 3 years. I was trying my best to keep him away from there, because I knew how dangerous it is. But he just found out, heard through oh, your dad was over. Well, he was at VLAN. I'd send him to VLAN. I'd go to pipe, because you don't want your kids to get hurt. Finally, when it took him till 17 to find out. He didn't figure it out till 17. Then he just went, I'm not even ever asking my dad how's pipe again. So he went on a vengeance. Now I just go, oh man, I don't know what I started. But, watching your children and mine and everybody else's, the young generation is just advanced as far as pipeline and all that goes. I just go, you guys are in a different league. But yeah, back to, that's one reason probably never really showed up till he was a little older. As far as bigger surf and stuff, he'd run around trying to compete, and we didn't really have too much success trying on other places around the world. You know, he had his share out at Sunset here and there, but yeah, other than that, the kids are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get on the grind on trying to qualify for the world tour is grueling, and it can get lonesome, and you go across the world, the other half of the world, you fly for 36 hours, you paddle out to perfect, true story, J-Bay, a dream wave as a kid for me, watching Endless Summer in Jeffreys Bay, Cape St. Francis. I'm finally there, and it's 8 to 10 foot, and the comp is on. And guess what? The judges say, oh yeah, Tony Moniz, he's a big wave rider, now the waves are 10 foot. And you get disqualified for not sitting next to the buoy before the event even starts. My point is, talk about tearing someone's heart out when you come in and hear that you got disqualified. How does that even happen? The contest didn't even start and I got DQ'd, like Michael was saying earlier. But anyway, those are one of the crazy experiences to hold in. It'll be easy for me to just throw everything up and quit. And you do feel like that because you're across the other side of the world. Lucky you have some friends, and you're like, it's more than the 24-hour flu. That's like, the flu still hurts today when I talk about it, but I can laugh. I mean, we were guinea pigs of that generation, needless to say. But yeah, those with that comes good memories, you know, of surfing places and getting results and all that. At the end of the day, where I'm at and where we're at today, it's I wouldn't change it for the world.
When you travel the world, can you guys both think of one kind of incident that stands out to you most? Being, you guys were just, local boys growing up in Waikiki, and you went out to the world to travel, right? Foreign places. Like, was there ever once that you can think of that you're a little afraid or wondered, what am I doing here? Or
I was fine with whatever I did. Came back, just results kind of egged me out when they weren't what you wanted. Otherwise, I was fine traveling, whatever. We didn't have a whole bunch of money, so we all went in on a room together, a car together, food together. So it was all good. I wouldn't change it. Like, I mean, it's a lot easier for them now. They got coaches, they got people looking after them, a lot of big sponsors and stuff. And sponsors weren't even around. That was just starting to get 200 a month here, 100 there. You make 500 a month, you're a big pro.
I would share with Seth and Josh and even my boys. I would say, you see that gloves? They would laugh at me with the gloves. I go, that was $300 a month, and I'll take it.
Yes. Okay, that's big money. $3 a month. I'm like, hey, I would have wore a pair of those.
Guys, I didn't tell you guys it was $300 a month. I was like, just keep the check coming. The check never come. The gloves came off.
One thing that my kids, and I know for Coco and Mason as well, I could speak for them, that wherever they travel around the world, that you guys have left a legacy, a pot of aloha that's been deposited. And when they go to places that you guys have once been, they're embraced and taken care of. Like, that is a beautiful thing, because we're here in Waikiki. We all pay homage to Uncle Duke, and that was what was he about, So just hearing those stories always made me feel so proud, of you guys and what you guys leave in other lands.
I believe we did take the aloha with us. We're well liked, and we respected people everywhere we went, even in your own lineup. We respected you. And that's a big payoff for our kids. And for me, I was affected by Uncle Duke. I remember as a really young boy that I've always heard the ambassador of Aloha word, and he shared, he traveled, he gave. And I really believe in the Kanaks, in the Hawaiians, it's in us, you know. The other side can come out too when needed. You
Yes,
know?
yeah.
And
Because if we got one plate lunch and there's 4 guys, all 4 are gonna eat. Share. We're gonna share. We're not gonna just one eat, one don't eat. No, so we all share. Maybe if there's a car where you gotta sleep and it's raining and there's a board bag, I might have to go in the board bag.
there's still there's still a pecking order. There's a pecking order.
Tony, Fielding, go in the board bag. Derek, give me inside.
Here, I got one for you.
Oh, remember that one?
Oh my gosh.
Shit. Okay.
Here, I got one for you. Seth's first contest on tour. Now he made the tour, right? They're going to Snapper. I got invited to go to Snapper, Seth's first event, and we're on the 31st floor above Snapper Rock. I get up to his condo, and it's like the size of this hotel, and we're like overlooking Snapper, and I look down the bottom, and there's the parking lot. I get Seth. I go, Seth, come. I got to show you something. I'm gonna look down there. How many floors are you up here? 31. What do you see down there? Parking. I go, that's where I slept. I go, I slept right there in my car. I'm not even kidding you. Right there. You know what I ate? Cheese and bread and cold cuts, whatever it took for me to be here. Yeah. So I said, thanks for doing this. Thanks for bringing me up. It took time for me to get up on the 31st floor penthouse. So I'm enjoying the ride here and there. I went Malcolm 2019, I went Malcolm with him. Okay. I was supposed to go to, I think, 2 events. I went to about 7 or 8 of them.
Well, how was it like when Coco, got on tour? Like, what was that like for you?
That was good, and it was kind of hard because I competed so much that when results wouldn't go right, or I'd be kind of upset, and I didn't know how to handle it so well. So I kind of pulled out a little bit more than usual and let other people talk to her about certain things that parents, you already tell her, do the dishes, they want to hear you tell them about their surfing and stuff so much. Like, because we never had coaches when we started. So I just kind of let her do her thing after. But it was a lot of fun because we got a lot of good results. It wasn't me against Coco against Carissa. It was just, why aren't we getting the result that we want? So that's how it is traveling. You just want results. If that's what you're there to do, is compete and get results. And I had a hard time dealing with a lot of the losses. And it wasn't because all the time we thought we should have won. Even when we lost, I was still going, why, it's just, And then on the other hand, there was a lot of times where a little bit close to that one. Yeah, just that way or just that way. But yeah, that's what I got out of competing. I still liked it. I did a lot with Mason, going around the world a few times with a bunch of the kids, a few from Huntington, Chaz. We did a bunch of surf trips trying to get the kids on tour, and a couple of Mason's buddies, and yeah, we had a result here or there, but not what you're looking for sometimes when you're trying to reach that spot where you want. But otherwise, all good.
I guess they get to a certain age, right around 18 or so. You don't get invited to the party as often with the kids, right? Because I did when they started to compete in NSSA and HASA, that's when I had to make it clear with my kids and say, hey, now this is getting serious. If you want to do this, and we're going to start training. So we did the practice, we did the filming, did all the technical stuff for a number of years, and they went on to win nationals, NSSA, both Seth and Josh, and did really well there, and that was their ticket to get it on tour. Now they're on the QS tour. I did maybe the first couple years on most of it, And then soon after that, at 18, 19, I didn't get an invitation to come anymore. It was like, oh, they're not asking me to come film them. Oh, they're hiring a coach. Oh no, Billabong has a coach. His name is Uncle Reynolds. Oh, okay. It was kind of it was easy to let go, but it was hard because you do all the groundwork, you get them to a level, and then you still want to be a part, but you want to respect your child, not, empty the rubbish. You come home. You come home and you telling them to empty the rubbish.
They're like, hey,
now you're telling me how to make a bottom turn? And I come home, I still say, what, you guys waiting for the rubbish man?
Yeah.
Well, I'll empty, the garbage is full. You got one bag hanging, the other one there, and yeah. I'm glad they're out of the house, but I still got to empty the rubbish because it still gets filled up real fast.
Well, it is when I thought about having you both here, like I was so excited. Like I just would smile in my own little space thinking just of you being here and doing exactly what you guys are doing before even the interview. And when we finish, it's not going to be done yet. We're not going to just say goodbye. It just keeps on going, So, thanks for making the way.
I love you, Tammy and Tony. My bro, always love you guys so much, man.
So good. And regarding both of you, you guys have a lot of accomplishments. Like that we could Google. I could Google your name, and your accomplishments would come and list all of them by year, and yourself too. But I think for me, the most treasured thing about both of you is who you are, and what you've become to the community, the surf community. I don't think that I know many people that have anything bad to say about you guys, only good, but not just good, but treasured in their hearts. So thank you for being, both of you, being such beautiful representations of who a Hawaiian man is to our generations, to my children and our children together, and to our surf community, and to the people that come to Hawaii to surf, to the traveling surfers that come to compete. Both of you are highly regarded and dearly loved and treasured in their hearts. So thank you so much for doing that. Love you.